Now we are going to see global IND submission process. Preparing an investigational new drug application is a critical step in advancing a new pharmaceutical products towards the clinical trial. This presentation outlines the key steps and considerations involved in preparing and submitting an IND application globally, including a regulatory requirements for major markets and important aspects of safety monitoring and follow-up. Next is IND application preparation. So in our IND application preparations, we have to concentrate on three different parts. That first part is preclinical data. The second one is CMC, chemistry manufacturing controls, and clinical trial design. In a preclinical data, which includes toxicological studies, assessing the safety and toxicity, pharmacology studies and mechanism of action, PKPD data, and safety pharmacology assessment. And in a CMC, it covers drug substance details, formulation development, manufacturing process, and stability data, ensuring quality control and GMP compliance. Next, clinical trial design. In a clinical trial design, it includes detailed study protocols, risk management strategies, and investigator brochure summarizing the preclinical and clinical data. Next, we will move on to different regulatory requirements among different countries. In the United States, will follow the FDA regulations. IND submission require before clinical trials governed by 21 CFR Part 312 with clear guidelines for clinical trial phases and potential fees. Europe, clinical trial application required governed by EU regulation 536 bar 2014 with submission fees by varying the country. In Japan, PMDA, that is Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices Act, regulations followed, and investigational drug application submitted to PMDA governed by the Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices Act with application on the clinical trial fees. Next is submission process. First, FDA, we can submit electronically through ESG, including Form 1571 and 1572 and supplementary documents. And to the EMA, we can submit a common technical application to National Health Authority or EMA for multi-country studies, including protocol, investigator brochure, and preclinical data. PMDA submit IND, IDA electronically or in paper form, including preclinical data, clinical trial protocols, and investigator information. And coming to the phases, we have four different phases of clinical trial, and three are before marketing and one last one is a post marketing. Phase 1 is to assess the safety, dosage, and pharmacokinetics in healthy volunteers or patients. Phase 2 is for evaluate the efficacy and further assess safety in larger patient population. And phase 3 is for confirm the efficacy, monitor adverse drug reactions, and compare the drug with the current standard treatments. And safety reporting and monitoring, adverse event reporting, and which reports the serious adverse events within the specified timelines and which monitor safety through DMCs and implement the RMPs to address the safety concerns. Interim safety analysis. We should conduct the interim analysis to monitor the safety, especially for higher risk treatments or vulnerable patient populations. And annual reports. Annual reports like DSURS to regulatory authorities for ongoing clinical trials. And next, post submission follow. Post submission follow ups like responding to queries. Responding to queries involves promptly address all data requests, clarifications, or modifications sought by the regulatory authorities. And we should address the clinical holds. Actively resolve any safety concerns raised by the regulatory authority to ensure the timely trial commencement. And managing the protocol amendments. Efficiently manage and submit the amendments to clinical trial protocols or investigative brochure, ensuring the regulatory approval. And finally, maintaining the ongoing communication. Foster consistent communication with the regulatory agencies throughout the trial, adhering to the compliance and safety monitoring guidelines. These are the general post-submission follow-up requirements. And finally, the conclusion for this IND submission is it is that the process looks complex and with significant variations across the global regulatory agencies. Careful attention should be given to the documentation, study design, and regulatory timelines. Then only the step would complete in on time. Ensuring the compliance with each regulatory body specific requirement is key to the successful initiation and progression of the clinical trials.